Football cuts across all religions, all political parties. Let's come together and build our football. This is the sport that has made me who I am today. It is the sport that feeds millions of people. It is the sport. It is our responsibility to hold on to this sport and then ensure we leave a lasting legacy to generations unborn. Our football is coming back. We will be a stronger force. We will be the most loved sport, and together we will ignite passion and create wealth for each one of us.
Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for our ongoing coverage of the Ghana Premier League, the GPL. And of course, we're in Ghana month, so as tradition demands, we say Akwaba, Yawezo, wherever you are. And also, those who have taken time off, our friends, visitors from outside Ghana, from the rest of Africa, you're here for the African Games. But today, you've decided to, tune in and watch the Ghana Premier League. We also say Akwaba, welcome to the motherland, the land of Kwame Nkrumah, the land of gold. And hopefully this afternoon will be a nice spectacle. You can also send a message to a friend, to another friend. They can watch it on the Star Times On app. Go to the Google Play Store and download, and you can watch the Ghana Premier League anywhere you are. Hope you enjoy Ghana, hope you enjoy the games, and hope you have time also to watch the Ghana Premier League. So week 20 is here. And as I said, it's Ghana month, and we have a very special returnee. In a moment, we'll say hello to her, but the match in action is Karela United against Asante Kotoko. They don't come bigger than that, do they? And that will be at the Nalerigu Sports Complex in Nalerigu. That Nalerigu, and we need to take my time, but that's where it's going to be played. Let's just go through the one more match will be played today. Accra Lions versus Brecum Chelsea. Accra Lions have an interest in Barcelona. We'll have time to talk about that at the end of the show if time permits. Adriana hosts Legon Cities on Sunday, and Samatex travel to Bichim United. Gold Stars will be at home against Great Olympics, and RTU will be in Bando, where Hearts of Lions hope to bounce back to winning ways. Nations entertain Midiama. Big game there for the Africa club champions returnees, Midiama. They've got a lot of matches to catch up on. Nations, though, looking good for the top four. And in Swatraman, entertain Dreams. Dreams, another side who've made it through to the business side of the Confederation Cup. They've done tremendously well at their first attempt. Then on Monday, we wrap up with the Phobians seeking 3 out of 3 on the road for them. This time, they'll be at home and they'll be taking on Bofakwa Tano. The Watara magic seems to be working for the Phobians, and they are confident in yet another 3 points. Okay, Esther Bankwa is back. She joins us. She's been globe-trotting America here and there, and she's back just in time. Ghana month. I must say, Esther, what about the year? Papa.
See, Miratani so na say di Ghana month. Intina was say ye koyenchi. Na ye kofa di ankasa ye hwe
na America meaning say na I me who social media we were chatting once, but as the ice no still it hasn't quite completely melted.
So me buy India.
What's that?
Me buy enche be kakra na me ba be feeling na do dey no so ha.
Me Bibre, Oscar, other, I can mention them. So many of them. I hope they are going to come back. I know you've come back. It's great. You're doing a lot of work there, and yet chilling Chile. Yeah, paving the way for the World Cup. Hopefully, Ghana qualify. But briefly, how was the whole experience for you?
I believe it was quite a very nice experience because, I for one, I traveled with the team, and then that means for our initial days in the States, we had to with the national team and then be reporting on day-to-day activities, the routine and stuff of the team involving their 2 friendlies that they played against Mexico and then USA. It's been working there and then experiencing their media and how they usually go about their reportage in terms of their sophisticated equipment that they use with ease. It was quite a lot of experience to learn from them and then know how they do it, and then possibly once that you return, we will also be able to add up and then spice up with whatever we were doing here before we left the shores of Ghana.
Awesome, great to see you back, and of course, next to you is our brother. You be Bono boy or Asante boy?
I'll be fancy boy.
Oh, fancy boy. Good.
But stayed in Kumasi small.
Yeah, so you've got that vibe.
Yeah,
but already you are preparing for America. I mean, so they are branding already. You've started already, remember?
Ankara.
Yeah, so it's good to see our sister back and jumping straight to the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah.
We have a lot of visitors watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's a chief commentator for women's football.
Ampa.
So the love for women's football and Ghana football is at the top. So anytime, anytime talking about Ghana football and stuff, especially the women's game, I'm happy about it. Especially looking at what Nora is doing. Black Princess will be playing the All Africa games. You know, women's football is also going on, the league and the FA Cup. So anything about the team about women's football. Yes.
I think women's football is one aspect that none of us can complain about.
Especially under this administration, we can say it has improved.
Next level, Ampa.
You know, we started war. One of the few nations from Africa, you qualify for the World Cup. You know, qualifying for the Olympic Games, qualifying for the World Cup, we were struggling to do it. So, under the 4 years of Kurt Edwin Simonokraku, you can see women's football is growing. Now, sponsors in the FA Cup, sponsors in the Women's League, and of course, our national team. For the first time, you appointed a foreigner as Black Queen's coach, and he's taking the team to the next level. So I think women's football in the last 4 years, we are seeing massive growing in women's football.
It's very, very true.
I mean, to add up a bit to it, so in reference to how there has been massive improvement in women's Premier League in general in Ghana, because we knew that initially the competition was always based on the males aspect, that's the Ghana Premier League. Not a lot of attention was given to that of the women's Premier League, but under this particular administration, we've seen live matches, being telecast on TV for all and sundry across the globe in order for them to also enjoy women's football, bringing the love to the doorstep of football-loving fans, and it has really been huge. And the competitiveness among the 2 zones involved, so far as the Women's Premier League is concerned, that's the northern and the southern zone, it's something that needs to be commended. And there has been massive improvement. The attractiveness has been there, and we've sat here countless occasions to talk about the grand finales that were, going to be held in different venues that we had. Some of them were at the Accra Sports Stadium. We equally had some of the grand finales in Abrankese at the Dr. Chase Sports Complex. So it's been huge altogether so far as women's football is concerned. And that's the more reason why, because of how competitive and improved the local league for women has become, that is why we've seen our respective national teams also shining on the world stage. The likes of Ghana Black Princesses, they are also very improving. And then they even have a game tonight, in the All African Games at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium, 8 p.m. tonight, whilst they host Ethiopia in that game. And that game is also 8 p.m. And then we have seen what the Black Queens have been doing in recent times. The joy is out there for everyone to witness.
Yeah, definitely. Gifty Owari Mensa, and they're doing a great job for women's football, amongst others. And of course, Matilda, the communications team as well, they're really doing a good job. Hopefully, it would go up in leaps and bounds. Maidens, princesses, queens is looking really positive. And I know there's a License D coaching course that is being introduced by the FA. And what I'm hearing is that 100 participants will be, the cost is going to be taken up by the GFA, women's football. That is fantastic news as well. That is huge. I don't think we've had that anywhere in Africa, the License D for the women, and 100, potential coaches. The fee has been absorbed by the Ghana Football Association.
Yeah, and that is why I always talk about Ghana football is not about blasters alone. There are a lot of things this current administration is doing to improve our game. Women's football is one of them. Training courses for coaches and, of course, other staffs at the Football Association is going to the next level. Now, a lot of people are, going for their coaching badges from D, C, and B. A na I check a So it tells you they are doing a lot of things behind the scene, and I'm sure in the next 2-3 years you will see it at the top. But most of the people think when talk about Ghana football, ni nyina blasters. It's not blasters.
Projection.
Absolutely.
Because optics. It's what the masses see on a regular. It's the media. We're all involved. So
we
if
talk
we don't,
about the blasters a lot.
thank you very much. It's if we don't shift attention and give it a balance, like you're saying, the Ghana Premier League on TV, on radio, lots of content around it, then people will also be educated. So I think we are all to, I won't say blame, but we need to take responsibility for that. Yeah.
But then to add a bit to what you were saying in reference to the free, coaching course that's for D,
License D, right?
Free that has been sponsored by the FA. Just to buttress the point that this is not the first time that it's been done. Last year, we equally had the same one being organized for over 30 women, and we even saw among them one of these happened to be Dreams Ladies, a player who is almost 18 years old, playing in the local league for Dreams Ladies. And then Stella Nyameche, I believe you've heard of her name before. She happens to be one of the beneficiaries of the sponsored coaching courses for women. And that was indeed another to mark International Women's Day, just like last year. And then this year too, another one has been announced by the FA. And I believe that this is very good because for our game to develop, these ladies involved, virtually all the stakeholders need to have a very good insight when it comes to the technical aspect of the game so that they'll be able to appreciate what they are doing better.
Also, Esther Bankwa and Nalerigu will be with us for the coverage. It's Karela versus Asante Kotoko. We'll take a look at the two sides. Remember, the last encounter they had was in the FA Cup where, the Porcupine Warriors felt the sharp end of the new regime at Karela, under Abukari Damba. Let's take a look at the matches head-to-head, and you would notice straight away that it's been tight between the two. Hardly, you don't have many goals in there. It's either ends in a draw, stalemate, or a single win. And on that occasion, it's Karela United who pipped Asante Kotoko. I actually thought Kotoko had one victory in that during the time Karela were at Inyinasi, but perhaps I got it the other way around. But very, very tight between the two sides, Esther.
Very, very tight between the two of them. And then to also look at the fact that since 2018, we've had over 11 encounters involving these two teams. And out of all these encounters, it has always been very difficult for Kotoko. They've picked up only 3 wins out of those ones. And then Coach Prosper Nat Ogum, as a coach for the 2 stints in charge of Kotoko, he has never won. Being a coach of Kotoko, he has never won against Karela. It has always been very difficult for him, even in the first leg when they played.
Third time lucky, perhaps?
It's going to be difficult because it's been 4 games together all for him, and then he has ended up drawing 3 of them and then losing 1 of it with the recent defeat being the one that he suffered in the FA Cup. So it's going to be
remember this goal with the outside of his foot excellently executed. I mean, the defender was asleep, but the execution, the way he curled it beyond the goalkeeper was fantastic in the first round. And a former Kotoko player did the damage. Of course. Yeah.
Asante Kotoko player under Nalerigu administration. He was a player for Asante Kotoko Football Club, and he moved to Karela United and he scored that brilliant goal against Asante Kotoko. Kotoko is being boasted by one of the best central defenders in the local scene, Nuruddin Mohammed, and of course Henry Ansu. But you look at the way Ivan Sadomakuredu passed through the middle of them and make sure he scored that goal for Karela United. A brilliant goal on that side. So I think Kotoko will come good today. It's a big game in Nalerigu, but it's going to be a difficult game for both sides.
It will. And it's a venue where Karela are trying to make it their own. They're trying to make it a fortress. And for them, they know their survival in the Ghana Premier League depends on them winning all their home matches. So for Asante Kotoko, it's going to be very, very tough. I think it's an AstroTurf, so that also makes it quite interesting if you're not used to it. But for Kotoko, they know they've been there. I believe that's where they played the FA Cup and lost a few weeks ago.
The FA Cup, they played at Tamale.
There you go. So it's new for them as well. So that would be an interesting venue to see how Kotoko would cope with that. And it was a late one there. Baba Yaya finally getting the equalizer, but they really toiled in that match.
just in the nick of time in order to salvage a point in that game. That tells you how difficult it has been for Kotoko as a club whenever they face Karela United in most of their games. And then before even Karela moved all the way to Nalerigu, we saw how they made Inase a fortress very, very difficult for all teams that visited it, and Kotoko was not an exception to it. And if you look at how difficult Kotoko has found it whenever they play against Karela, that tells you that today Coach Dr. Prosper Ogum needs to up his game in order to avoid, having another defeat, because suffering a defeat in the Heart of Lions and then going all the way in the FA Cup and Karela being, defeated by 2-0, and then picking up their piece and then meeting up with Bibiani Gold Stars and then beating them by a lone goal. This is another game at sight for them, and this is where they need to make sure that they win, because just between Kotoko and then Samates is a 3-point gap between them. So that means a win today for Kotoko will be indeed a very huge statement in their quest in order to win the title this season.
And I think what could be an advantage, if I should use that, for Kotoko, is that on a bad day, Karela can be found wanting. Sometimes they switch off, but they traveled away to Brekum, were thrashed 3-0. Their form has been inconsistent. Lose, win, draw, lose. That's how it's been for them. But if you take a look at their home, they've only lost once. And that was towards the end. That was December 2023. But again, as I said, when they sleep, they do sleep deep. And they conceded 4 goals against Bichim United. And they also have to think about Mukwala. He's got 8 goals, I believe, in the league so far. He's been given a call-up by Paul Joseph Potts, the coach of Uganda. So that's good, against Comoros in the Black Stars, interestingly, in Marrakesh. So that call-up for Mukwala would also boost his confidence. He would want to justify that he deserves that call-up. But the form guide quickly tells you that Kotoko also, they don't concede at all. If they lose, it's just by that odd goal. They haven't also been scoring a lot, Nana.
Yeah, when you look at the Kotoko, when they are playing at the Babaya Sports Stadium, they struggle to score beyond 1 goal. 1-0, 2-1, those are the scoreline Kotoko normally gets when they are playing at home. And away performance before the end of the first one was quite okay until we started the second one. Then when they lost to Pando Heart of Lions by 1-0. So maybe today they may pick an away win, but it's a difficult ground. So looking at what Abubakar Idamba is doing for Karela United, they have a strong team, especially when they are playing at home, and they want to survive in the Ghana Premier League. When we look at the league log, Karela, Wafakwatano, House of Lions, RTU, it looks like Karela is picking up at the right time. When we look at how the league table is going on, I think they need to get at least a good point against Asante Kotoko today. So if Kotoko really want to pick the maximum 3 points, they need to play beyond what we've seen in recent times, especially the game against Pando Heart of Lions, to get a result today.
Yeah, and 15th is a deadly position for them. So I think, all these matches is about survival. So they will be going in this with that do-or-die attitude. They just can't afford to lose, knowing that Bofakwatano will be playing against Hearts, and the Heart of Lions would also be looking for 3 points. They would want to get their 3 points to keep away from that relegation dogfight from 16, 17, 18 position.
It's been very difficult for Karela as a team. Been on the 15th position on the league table, having only 20 points out of over 19 games that you have played. And then looking at the number of goals that they have scored, only 15 goals, and then conceding as many as 23 goals. They do not have a very good record at the moment on the league table. And then to have lost virtually almost 3 games of yours in your last 5 games, and then to have only a single victory in all those matches, and then heading into this game, playing against a team that they've really found difficult in order to beat you, and then you recently even beat them as well, that is Kotoko. It's going to be very tough for them, but the only morale that Karela is going to pick from this game ahead of it is the fact that they are playing at home. They have very good record at home. They've lost just a single game in their last 13 games that they have played. And then they are playing before their fans. They have the huge support and other to go all out. And then they are going to play against Kotoko that has failed to win on their 2 on the road attempts that they have made, suffering a defeat in the hands of a team like Heart of Lions, and then suffering a defeat again where they played against Karela itself at the Tamale Sports Stadium. It's been very difficult for them. So, and I believe this is a game that the 2 teams will have to go all out. But then again, I believe that in as much as Kotoko will have to get all secure the 3 points in order to close the gap difference that they have between them and then Samatex. Karela, on the other hand, will have to improve a little bit and leapfrog and have a very good standing so far as the league table is concerned from the 15th that they currently are.
Absolutely. So, yeah, big game for the two sides, and the others will be watching with keen interest to see how that would work out. Kotoko looking to get closer and perhaps go to the apex of the table. Karela looking to move away from that danger. So, it's two sides really bent on getting the 3 points. No court will be taken, and our crew already in the north, making sure they'll bring us coverage of that game. First time from that venue. We're looking forward to it on that AstroTurf as well. We'll take a look at the other fixtures again at the end of the show, and the permutations depending on what happens in this particular game. But in recent times, Prosper Ogun has declined or has decided not to talk. He's allowed Oklu to do that for him, and it's been quite interesting. We're not too sure what Prosper Ogun's mindset is. Oklu speaks for the club, but it's always good to hear from the main man, the coach. Is that an issue for you guys, or it's irrelevant? If you're the coach of a club, that your fans want to hear from you.
Now, let's say when you look at the situation, just imagine all the 18 teams. Their head coach don't speak after games. He leaves those duties to the assistant coach. Obviously, we'll be able to question about that. Why is the head coach there? The assistant coach is always speaking. Maybe it's about Kotoko. That is why people are quiet. But I think the head coach, Edu Baby, so to make us, he needs to speak so that people will hear anything about the game that was being played. So I think sometimes you need to come out after one crucial game where Ogun Beckham said most of these players are politicians within the club.
Since then, that is speak to the fans again. On it, the media team doesn't speak after games. Only Oklu speaks. So I think it's about time, the FA and the leaders around the Premier League to speak to Ogun so that he can speak to the supporters after games. And I think they need to work on that. Yeah, quite a few experienced players in the Karela setup. We saw the former Hearts captain Fatau there coming out. Abukra Damba is also very experienced. He's a CAF instructor, amongst others, goalkeepers coach. A lot of experience. So it's not as if it's a new terrain for them. They just have to really focus well and hard in order to contain Asante Kotoko, Esther.
Karela have quite a very good team. In their defense, they can boast of the likes of Rashid, the likes of Yahaya, and then Anaful. And then in midfield, they have two very experienced players there to count on, the likes of Maxwell and then Mohammed as well in the heart of midfield. And then in recent times, we've seen a player like Solomon Abuaje banging in the goals for them in the absence of Domako. Solomon has been doing the job, and he has been well aided by another player, another striker in the person of Gias, who has equally been getting them very crucial and critical goals in matches that they really are looking forward to. So, and this is a new game altogether for them. And then I believe that they would want to go all out and then make sure that the 3 points, which is the most important ingredient after all, it's what they will be going all out for.
Yeah, men's heart, Zeze Nuruddin, not too sure. Ansu Kalu has not really had a, he started a couple of games when Kotoko got those late winners with his head. Since then, he's not really had consistency, but he was present in their last couple of games. I think Lamte should return. He was absent in their last game as well. And we know Justice Blay has been very consistent since his long-term injury. How has that affected the club, Blay, in terms of his presence and his influence, Nana?
I think since he came back to this Kotoko team, they've lost only one game in the Premier League. That is against Kwando House of Lions. And he has been consistent for the club, and he's playing with a lot of confidence in the Kotoko team now. When you look at the Kotoko team, at the right side, they have about 4 players, but most of them don't start games for Kotoko this time round. They still rely on the likes of Justice Blay to some extent. In the second half, they bring in Emmanuel Kote to support him. So it tells you he's playing with a lot of confidence. And the 3-back system, Abuano, on the style of play, and is bringing the best out of Justice Blay. It looks like the young guys are taking over the midfield. Rocky Jamina, Ivan Stray Jamina, Sharif Mohammed, Richmond Lamte. So Justice Blay struggled to get a position in the midfield play. That is why the 3-back system has brought the best out of him in recent times in the Kotoko games. So I think that is the reason why he's playing more games for Asante Kotoko in recent times. And the good thing is Henry Asu is in the team, and now Nicolas Osebo to make the first 11, and of course Richmond Lamte, the captain, is back into the first 11. So that is a good sign for Asante Kotoko Football Club. When you monitor Kotoko games in recent times, when Lamte is not playing well, they struggle. when it's not in the first 11, Kotoko team needs struggle. So coming back into this team will help Asante Kotoko Football Club.
And then again, the starting lineup, based on Coach Dr. Prosper Ogum, who isn't willing to speak at the moment, but what are the right moments? He has these charges ahead of the game. The likes of Frederick Asari, the regular, is going to be in goal post for them. And then Justice Play, just like Nana mentioned, is also starting for Kumasi Asante Kotoko today. And then Eric Zeze is starting the game for Kotoko. Stephen Makwala, that everybody is virtually tipping to get a goal for Kotoko, is equally starting for them. And then Henry Ansu, and then Richmond Lamte is back. He's going to captain the team as well. And then Nicholas Osei-Bonsu, and then Peter Amidou, and then they have Nicholas Mensah, John Tedeku, and then Rocky Dramana. So these are the three, the 11 players that Coach Prosper Ogum is counting on them to give him a lifeline whilst they play against Karela, a turf that has always been very difficult for them.
No doubt about that. And there is also talk of distractions, but so far we're not maybe seeing the effects of that. Talk about potentially Mukwala joining Accra Vogue, and whether or not it's just speculation, whether or not indeed the players' agents are in communication with Accra Vogue, but it's all over the place. It will be interesting to see if Coach Oklu would address it and how the player himself would conduct himself on the pitch. Sometimes these things would give the player an excuse not to be at his best, or play better than he would normally play to silence the rumors. But what do we know about Nana, that Hearts of Oak have begun to talk to the agents or the managers of Mukwala?
I think, Mukwala signed a 2-year contract with Asante Kotoko Football Club. At the end of the season, the contract comes to an end. And as it stands now, Mukwala and Richmond Lamte are key players to Asante Kotoko Football Club. Kotoko would like to extend. One of the highest paid players in the local scene. I understand he takes around $2,000 for Asante Kotoko. But it's in the clause of his contract that we decided to extend here. They will pay him $4,000 in the local league. That is where Kotoko is struggling to agree terms with Kalum. Still the contract for Asante Kotoko Football Club. He's an important player for them. I think one of the best strikers we have in the local scene. I would like him to extend his contract with Asante Kotoko. But there is this report coming in that there's a club from Algeria, ESCTIF, looking for his service, and they are ready to pay somewhere around $7,000 a month for his service. So when a player finds himself in a situation like this, it's difficult for Asante Kotoko.
Or should I weigh a tactic by Hearts of Oak fans? No,
Hearts of Oak
Kotoko dressing room. And
Hearts of Oak were paying Junior Kaba $5,000 in the local scene. So paying $4,000 for a player.
I'm asking Junior Kaba.
He was a player for Hearts of Oak, and they were paying $5,000
for
running.
Most of these foreign players, when they come to this country, they take more money, much more than the local players.
You're swerving my question. What was special about him?
He didn't live up to expectations. Yeah. So,
why is this chap? Like, is it Ivuka? If I've got the
Ivuka.
Radio Ivuka.
Yeah. I love that player.
Yeah, they are left back.
He hardly had a bad game for Hearts of Oak. Fantastic player,
left back in the
Congolese, So straight away, Oka foreign players from other parts of Africa. He's one of those that comes to mind.
Yes, one of the players about Hearts of Oak. And this time around, Gledo Tanga and of course Linda Intangi, they are doing well for the club. I think $4,000 now in the local scene, I think clubs should be able to pay.
Interesting. Okay. But I know Hearts of Oak too, and then I know we're looking forward to Kotoko and Karela, but Hearts of Oak have also got a new captain, and many people felt a surprise. Esther, what do you think? What do you make of Watara's choice of Agbesima?
Well, Agbesima, you would say that as a Hearts fan, they would think that maybe he was just recently with the club, and if we look at the precedent that is involved in when it comes to selection of coaches, of captains, it usually has to do with the number of years perhaps that the player has been in terms of the experience he has garnered, and that his leadership qualities as well. But let's not also forget the fact that coaches are at liberty to choose a player that they think would be able to have a very good command in their dressing room and then have a very good leadership skills as well on the pitch of play. And then so to have appointed a player like Agbesima for him to be the captain of Karela-Kotoko, I believe that it's about what the coach has seen in him and what he believes that he'll be able to, the task that he has mandated him to execute, that he believes that Kofi would be able to do it better than, let's say, maybe the deputy who is Richard Atta, who has been given the deputy for their captaincy. But I don't think this should cause unrest in the dressing room for Karela-Kotoko, because in their last few games that they have played, they've been very massive. They've had very good score lines, winning on the road and then winning at home as well. I don't think this should cause any kind of unrest and then destabilize their consistency and performance on the pitch of play.
And when you look at Kofi Agbesima, he was a captain for Betim United for more than 3 seasons. So, you know, in terms of leadership quality, he's gotten it in the local scene for some time.
Maybe Ouattara has seen something.
So I think in training grounds and some of the matches that he has played as a player, we're conducting the year for the coach to choose him as a captain. And Richard Atta is now the #1 goalkeeper for House of Folk Football Club. And of course, Kelvin Osiesi, even though he's injured, is a key player for House of Folk Football Club. And I think the coach is looking at captains from the back. And the things Esibe, Agbesima, and Richard Atta is the best choice for House of Folk Football Club after Glasson Awaku and Mohamed Al-Hassan and the likes left the club. So I think it's a good choice for Kalu Ouattara. We're a best steady club in the last 3 weeks, and he thinks this is the best choice for the club.
Okay, all right. So we're counting down to the kickoff in Nalerigu. Did I say it right? Anyway, Kotoko take on Karela United. Kickoff at the top of the hour. Before then, we'll hear from the coaches as well. Let's go for a quick break on the GPL. We'll be back very shortly.
Joining us is Matchday action in the Ghana Premier League, and as you can see, we are very much for joining us. It's Matchday action, very much for joining us. It's Matchday action in the Ghana Premier League, and as you can see, we are situated in the northeast region, the regional capital, Nalerigu. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Matchday action in the Ghana Premier League, and as you can see, thank you very much for joining us. It's Matchday action in the Ghana Premier League, and as you can see, we are situated in the everyone and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Matchday action in the Ghana Premier League, and as you can see, we are situated in the northeast region, the regional capital, Nalerigu to be precise. But this afternoon's game is going to be at the National
All right, welcome back. Countdown to the top of the hour. Asante Kotoko, they've arrived in Nalerigu. Taking my time but Prince Annan is, on the ground, and obviously it's a new venue, first time, live coverage there. Prince Annan will definitely give us an update, and we'll be joining him in just a second. Let's see. Prince is ready. Let's find out what he has to tell us.
And welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. It's match day action in the Ghana Premier League, and as you can see, we are situated in the northeast region, the regional capital Nalerigu to be precise. But this afternoon's game is going to be at the Nalerigu Sports Center, where Karela United, the home team, welcome Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The league is getting a lot more interesting and intriguing as every day passes by, and most of the teams would want to either settle themselves at the top, at the middle, or try to avoid relegation. Where Karela lies now is dicey waters, but today they have an opportunity as they take on the Porcupine Warriors, Asante Kotoko. Let's take a look at what will go into the game today. Karela is far away from their usual site of Enyinase, and then they transferred to Tamale. But they have decided to come here to Nalerigu to make the Nalerigu Sports Center their home base. Kumasi Asante Kotoko are the visitors for today. Looking ahead of the game, Kotoko say that they are here to pick up the 3 points. They haven't traveled this far for nothing. We'll find out from the leadership of the fans how they intend to do that. Plus, of course, we'll also be talking to Karela, who are also going to be telling us how they intend to host Kotoko here this afternoon, and also to ensure that they keep the 3 points at home. We'll start off first with the visitors. Let's find out what they think. I have the chairman of the circles. He's traveled all the way from the Ashanti region to the northeast region. He travels everywhere the team goes, and he's here with the team today. Chairman, first of all, let's go straight into details.
Thank you very much. We are here to, win the 3 maximum point. The supporters, we are the backbone of the team. So wherever the team goes, we must travel with the team. That's why we are here. When I went to the team's camps, the players, I could see their morale was very high when they saw me. But I've always been telling them that when we lose together. When we draw together. When we win together. So wherever they go, I'll be with them. That is why we are here. We met Karela at the Aliu Mama Sports Stadium at Tamale. They beat us 2 goals to nothing. That was the FA Cup. They eliminated from the FA Cup. That is our motivation. We are going to stand on that and beat them today. I will remember during the first one when we played the Bebeni Gold Stars. They beat us by 2 goals to 1. Yes. We were drawn to play the FA Cup with them, and we beat them 1-0. Our motivation was the first lost in the league to them. That's why we beat them 1-0. So today we are here to play Karela. This is a very nice ID face, and we are going to play and they win. That's all.
Okay. Karela is a team that is used to playing on AstroTurf. You remember when they were in Nasi, they still had the AstroTurf. They've made the Nalerigu Sports Center their home ground now. You think they have an advantage today?
They don't have advantage. I would say Karela, as we all know, was based in Nasi. They came to Tamale. We are playing a neutral ground today. And at Nasi, we once beat them 2-0 on the same AstroTurf where they used to train and play. We beat them 1-2-0. And we are here to play on the AstroTurf. Kotoko, we've played there on so many AstroTurf, even in Ghana here and outside the country. So when it comes to AstroTurf, we have players who can also play in AstroTurf.
Now, for the looking around, things very well. You took a trip to Kotoko picking up the pieces. What message do you have for the numerous Kotoko fans out there, especially for the second round?
The message I have for them is that we've been following football for years, for decades, and you've got to understand football. The results in football, we have the lose, we have the draw, then we have the win. As a supporter, as a genuine supporter, if your team loses, that shouldn't be the end of you. So for supporting the team, that should even ginger you, because we are always the number 12 man. So if you don't come to the stadium to support the players and ask them to go and play, they will play and lose. So what I'm telling my supporters is that we want to win the league this season. And for that matter, we have to also play our part Otunfo keep on telling the supporters that the team belongs to us. But sometimes I ask the supporters, is it true that the team belongs? Because our contribution is, very negligible. Understand? So if you want to be standing, if you want to stand and be counted, then we have to follow the team, whether bad or good. Then we follow. We look at the Europeans. Even when they lose the next match, the whole stadium will be full again. Let's ask ourselves why. It's because the team belongs to them. So I'm pleading with my supporters. If you want to win a league, doesn't mean you wouldn't lose a match. It doesn't mean we wouldn't lose a match. Last 2 seasons when we played the league, we lost to Legon Cities. We lost by 3 goals to 1 at Babayara, but we still went ahead to win the league. So for the fact that we went to Pandu and couldn't win the league, or couldn't even draw and lost the match, doesn't mean we can't win the league. So we should rely behind the team. And when the players sees us, they become very happy and motivated. I'm the CEO of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I would say I'm the supporters, I'm the CEO. The team Kotoko, I'm the CEO. That's what I tell myself. So as a CEO of a company, the company should be dear to your heart. The growth of the company and everything should be dear to your heart. That is why I follow Kotoko anywhere you see me. So I'm emulating, I'm calling my supporters to also emulate me. Tomorrow when now the strength is no more there for me to travel, who will be doing that thing? So that's why I'm very happy whenever I see this guy at match venues. He has also been picking up. Even at Pandu, I couldn't go, I wasn't well, I couldn't go. But he was there. And he's a second member, Circle 76 at Swami magazine that's in Kumasi. And he followed the team ever. So we should follow the team and then we make the team happy. We give them the strength to always win for us to make happy.
Yep, very bullish talk from Macmenu. He's the region, and you heard him say he's a CEO of the supporters. You cannot fault him for that. Very bullish, very confident, and if we can take it that the mindset is to go and win at Nalerigu, Esther.
Victory is what matters the most.
And, not the talk.
And not the talk, and then in the long run, yes, I grown there. I believe, say, ahead of this crucial encounter, this is what they need. That is this kind of intrinsic motivation coming from them, knowing that they happen to be one of the biggest clubs that we have in the country, and then they've been playing, just like he rightly said, they've been playing a lot on AstroTurf, and they've even beaten Karela before, way back in the United States during the Kwame Poku days, that they recorded a 2-1 victory. So this is a huge game for them, and they also understand the assignment on the ground, knowing that is this motivation that would cheer the boys up, for them to know that this is not something new, and this is something that they've Kotoko as a club has always been trying their possible best in games. So today's game, after 9, will prevent them from getting what is no
doubt about it. Obviously, before was complain that traveling, clubs when they travel far, they use that as an excuse when they don't perform well. No excuse on this one.
Especially, losing to Pandu House of Lions, the supporters would like to see an improved performance in our away games. That is why Mr. Menu was talking about, when we want to win the Ghana Premier League, matches like this, that is what head core venue like this. So it's a big game. Abakar is the head core Karela United.
Yeah. As I said, he's a CAF instructor, and not just the goalkeeper's side of things. He's very well knowledgeable, and Esther, I'm sure with his presence, confidence would also be high in the camp of Karela.
Very, very huge confidence booster for them, and this is a coach that has been in the system for years as a footballer himself, and then been in charge of the team, and then also I believe that he will be able to have a very good command over the players, and then with his experience to bear, he will be able to have quite a very good telepathy in the dressing room so far as their matches are concerned. And then looking at the experience of Abubakar Damba and what he brings to bear, both in his days as a player and then with what he has done so far in the football fraternity, I believe that this should be quite an easy one for him altogether.
Oh, an easy one, as in the position or the game?
As in the position of managing the team,
Right,
Karela,
right.
and then a little bit as well when it comes to the game.
Yeah, the Pokemon Warriors. I mean, the complex is almost complete. A cluster of, it's populated. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of fans. Obviously, they're yet to arrive, and it's not full capacity seating, but it'll be interesting to see how the local fans take to Karela in a cluster of schools or in the middle of a school. So let's see how it goes. I mean, look, Honorable Haruna Idrisu has now acquired the club, and he's said he wants to really take it to the next level and inject a lot of professionalism.
Yeah, when you look at Haruna Idrisu, since he took over as Karela owner, right from Inasi to Tamale, now Nalerigu, he's trying to improve the club. So during the second round, he brought in 1 or 2 players. In fact, in the first round, players who have struggled to get playing time in their respective clubs was brought into the Karela team, and I think they've improved the club. So I think one of the teams that tipped to survive in the Ghana Premier League is Karela United.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll hear from the 2 managers very shortly, at least Oklu from the side of Asante Kotoko and Abukari Damba as well. The weather conditions look good as well, so we should be in for a very entertaining game. I'm very curious to see how the fans will respond, not only to Karela, but Asante Kotoko, the big team coming to town. Should be a fun, fair, occasion for the people of that place. And AstroTurf also does need water. People don't believe that, but it's natural, the surface.
It surfaces it and then ensures that you have very smooth play as well whilst you're on it. And then the fans, as you rightly said, will be so much eager, and the anticipation will be very high. They would love to come all out and then have a very good game together, looking at the fact that Karela United has been brought to their own doorsteps, and it has really been a very long time that fans in that part of Ghana have been able to get access to football or live game, just like they are going to witness today. So Kotoko coming all the way. It been their first game, Kotoko a big club, and Karela also a club so far as the league is also concerned. Definitely they will love to come out and then watch these players that have always been watching them from afar on TV, and this is the best time for them to come to the stadium and see them personally.
Okay, so Abukari Damba standing by at pitch side. Let's hear from him first.
Coach, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of the opportunity. Now, the people of Nalerigu have fallen in love, as it were, with Karela United Football Club. What should we expect going into this tough encounter against Kotoko here this afternoon?
Well, I must say thank you very much for the opportunity, and I must express a lot of gratitude to the people of Nalerigu and how they have accepted Karela in such a very short time. It really tells that, yes, people still love the game. The only thing is that let's give them what they want. So I must say we are overly impressed, and normally, and most of the time, it is always our responsibility to give to the fans what they want. And what do they want? They want victory. They want good football. And I think we guaranteed them that.
Well, the last time you played against Kotoko, you won by 2-0, and you eliminated them from the MTN FA Cup. Is this a done deal today?
Football is a game full of uncertainties. Every game in its approach. It was the FA Cup competition that we eliminated Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now we are talking about the GPL. It's the league. It's a different ball game altogether. And we never know who are the players who are coming on board. But then we have one aim, is to win. And that's what we want to go and do.
The fans will be here expecting nothing but a win, like you rightly said. But Kotoko are coming into this game knowing that they've got a target ahead of them. Karela, your positioning on the league table is not that comfortable. Absolutely. What should we expect?
The last kicks of a dying horse are always very powerful. That's all that.
Coach, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time. It wasn't for second round, but Kotoko seemed to be getting back. After against United.
Yes, like you rightly said, they are now building the momentum. This game here to give Karela a very good game, and
a respectful result means people are looking at 5 points going away from Karela here. 100 Lions, they lost against For Kumasi Asante Kotoko, what would be the game plan going?
It's true. We also desperate. Like I said, their money today.
Given that this second round is going to be an all-out performance by Asante Kotoko, notwithstanding the fact that you lost your first game, will the status quo continue? Is the plan still there for you to go all out in the second round, whether you are playing home or away?
Yeah, the plan is to get up there, working gradually towards it. So we're going to go all out today to get our ultimate goal.
We wish you nothing but the best. Thank you very much.
Okay, Coach Damba and Coach Oklu speaking there to Prince Annan. We're a few minutes away from kickoff. Anything we can take from what they said? Anything we can pick from that?
Both of them are very cautious with what to say. I think if you look at you and then you look at Abubakar Damba, there was a bit of distinction between the two of them. Abubakar Damba is very confident on the other hand. If you
And there is an commentary.
Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. It's Matchday action. It's the Ghana Premier League coming your way, and it's right here on Star Times. We definitely are bringing